This is the story of Patrick Waring. He was arrested for the crime of sexual assault on the 30th of March 2006. He was taken into custody and held without bail for nearly a year while awaiting trial. Earlier on the day he was arrested, after seeing an afternoon movie in the cinema, he met his accuser, got her phone number, talked a bit in a nearby park, and they split up. She went to the police, claimed he grabbed her, took her virginity and threatened to unalive her. Even if his accuser was questioned 3 times by the police, changed her story on all 3 of those occasions, and even if the alleged incident lasted 20 minutes in the middle of the afternoon in a busy park and there was no witnesses and no one came to help her, somehow, Perth's finest detective and prosecutors still went ahead with the trial. Here I want to reference Every Family's Nightmare, a documentary that was made about that case. They went and filmed at the alleged open-air crime scene at the time of the day of the alleged grape, and this is the actual park scenery. You can count 20 different people per minute, yet, no one came to her rescue. Also, let's go back. When I said she changed her story 3 times, those changes weren't small or trivial, as you can hear next from the reenactment reading of her deposition.
I told a little white lie to him, saying that you can't because I have a kid at home waiting for me. And then he's like, because you have a kid, I won't kill you. I had to tell him a little white lie saying that I was pregnant. And
that you're pregnant?
Oh, I mean, that I had a child.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, in the space of 4 days, she went from being a virgin, to being a mother, to being pregnant. This is totally normal according to Australian prosecutors and judges, and they pushed ahead with the proceedings and kept holding then 15-year-old Patrick Waring in custody without bail. While being detained, Patrick Waring was often beaten by fellow inmates. He even did a whole Reddit AMA about it. I'll post the link in the description. Then after 7 months, DNA results made on samples taken from the alleged victim came back. It was not Patrick Waring who had sex with the accuser. His family was ecstatic, but the police and prosecutors were unamused. They interviewed the girl again, and remember, she had claimed to be a virgin before all this, but when confronted with DNA evidence, she said she forgot to mention it to the cops, but she had also been grabbed by another man 2 hours before meeting Patrick Waring. Yes, you heard that right, she forgot for nearly a whole year that she was grabbed 2 hours before she was grabbed again by Patrick Waring, and that's why she didn't mention it to the cops. In the aftermath of the trial, it was found out that the first man she had sex with on that day was an internet date and the sex was consensual. But back to the original time frame, this is Australia we are talking about. Prosecutors are feminists and it's believe all women, so it still doesn't cross their mind that she could be lying. Thus they still went ahead with the trial. The trial lasted 3 weeks. The jury took 10 hours to deliberate, far too long according to the defense team, who said, normally when juries acquit, they acquit very quickly. Patrick was still found not guilty on all charges. His parents had to remortgage the house to hire a defense team. His mother resigned from her job and his father took extensive leaves from work to cope with the trauma. Patrick's 24-year-old brother, Michael, also lost a year of study for his degree in computer science and information systems because of the ordeal, as he took a full-time job to help pay for the defense. His brother, interviewed in the documentary, said they were going to lose the house. In the credit scene of the documentary, it is stated they received no compensation for the mistrial. So let's recap. She claimed she was grabbed in open air in the middle of a busy park, changed her story 4 times, DNA evidence cleared the accused, they still went to trial and the jury debated 10 hours before acquitting. This is how powerful the feminists are. This is how strong the believe all women propaganda is. A woman's word is almost more powerful than DNA evidence to police, prosecutors, judges and a jury of 12 jurors. Now wrap your mind around this. In the UK, the conviction rate for reported grape is only 3.3%, meaning 96.7% of all grape allegations made to police are either equally bad, or worse than the one placed against Patrick Waring. If a false grape allegation was made against you, My fellow man, with only little more care taken in the fabrication of the story, you'd be going to jail. Also remember, the girl who alleged the assault was never sued back in return, neither in criminal nor civil court. We don't even know her name. So there are zero repercussions in Australia for sending a boy to juvenile detention for nearly a year and making his family homeless with hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. This is how much unchecked power feminists wield at the point of a finger. They can have you removed from society, with great dispatch, all the violence of the state and total disregard for due process. If you're a feminist watching this somehow, tell me again how this is a patriarchy and men have all the power.